guys, it is Trav here from Neighbourhood, and we're coming live from the 25 Inbound. I'm your Australian Inbound correspondent, and today we are talking all things that have been released here at INBOUND25, and we're lucky enough to be here and share that all with you as well. I think one of the big factors that came through was the change from inbound to loop marketing, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more. But before I actually get started with what got released, loop marketing is a fundamental change to how marketers market moving forward in the world of AI and large language models. So for our October Hug, we are going to be going through loop marketing in absolute detail so that you can ready your business for this AI change and transformation. So make sure you register. The link is, if you're watching live, it's in the chat, but if you're watching the recording, it should be in the description or in the comments below. I recommend that if you are a HubSpot user and you are marketing using HubSpot, or you've been thinking about it, or just a little bit, I definitely recommend to watch this one as well, because I think what we're doing is we're utilizing a lot more of the AI tools in regards to showing and finding the right people for your business. So I think, in my personal opinion, it's a lot easier to market because you've got a plethora of really great tools to find those people really, really quickly. So that's our October Hug. So remember, it's always free to sign up. And if you can't make the live viewing, we'll always send the recording to those that have signed up as well. So make sure you click on that link and sign up as well. But we are here live. We've flown all the way. We're very lucky to have Chloe and Cam from behind the scenes here as well to help us out in regards to finding out what actually went down here in San Francisco. We're going to talk all things through Data Hub, Commerce Hub, CPQ, which is really kind of cool. The change of Smart CRM, what does that mean? Didn't we already have a CRM? And what that's going to mean fundamentally for all the HubSpot users as well. I'm just going to go around the team, around the circle here. We've got the developer platform as well, and some developing enhancements that we've got. The marketing hub, which is obviously some changes that have happened to that as well. Sales hub, and then service hub as well. So what I plan on doing today is really sort of trying to break that down in a really simplistic form for you to understand. Just remember as well, if you need some more guidance or understanding about how to use this, always reach out to us and we can definitely point you in the right direction. Or you could just use ChatGPT to find out a little bit more, obviously. But we're going to go around to each of the areas now and really sort of get a bit of a really quick demo on some of these features that have got released as well, just to give you guys a bit more insight. And the features are now live in your account if you've got the retrospective hub. Retrospective hub. I've been saying hug too many times. But also at the same time, you could always click at the very top. If you click on the company name and go down to product updates, there is a plethora, I'm going to use that word twice, I'll probably never use it again, of all the product updates. So if you'd like to register the beta for your account, you can do that there. There's a big documentation on what the beta is and whether you want to enroll yourself or the whole organization. But I definitely think that it's definitely something worth going through and exploring. But hopefully we can help in this hug. So I'm going to stop waffling and we're going to get stuck into the demos of each of these. So let's get started. Are you having to answer the same questions over and over again? Well, the customer agent might be for you. This one specifically, you're able to load all the context of your business, including documentation, PDFs, anything of that matter, and then your customers can ask questions of that agent and it will contextually give you the answers that are needed. If this is something that might be for you, let's check out and get a demo of what this looks like. Phew. All right, Service Hub got a little bit of a lick of paint as well. Two more features. I think what we've seen here, we can see in the sort of the platform that we've got here is that Breeze is basically getting filtered through a lot of the service area. We can see here in the middle where there's reply recommendations from the customer agent, which we'll touch on in just a moment. But basically we can kind of, with the context that we've got from the company, the contact, but also if we're looking at pre-existing tickets as well, we can get some recommendations for what the reply might be based on the context of the actual ticket and the individual, the associated contacts or records with that as well, which is really good. they're currently in a bit of a demo at the moment, we can kind of see. But the other part is the customer agent, which is, I think, been in the portal, had been in beta for quite some time now. For those that haven't played with it as well, it's something that you can go through and build a lot of context and knowledge into the actual agent to help solve those customers specifically. There are some great API tools that you can actually go ahead and link into third-party platforms to go ahead and pull context into the actual agent itself, which is really great. But basically what we want to try and do is really focus on solving the customer's problems or the questions that they've got specifically with the context and the knowledge that you've got, and you can load in there as well. To look into that, you can go into the service area and head down to the customer agent. It's going to basically get you to answer a bunch of information in regards to giving, I guess, who the person is and how they should be replying back to that to your customer specifically. There is a lot to really cover in the customer agent, which I probably wouldn't be able to fit into this little 2-second gap that I've got here. But what we can kind of see is the customer agents come through, but we've got the Breeze agent going through and really helping out in that sort of in the service area as well. One thing I have mentioned, and I will mention again, is that Breeze has got memory now. So one of the things that we kind of had issues with in the past was that we're having to restart these same conversations over and over again. Now we're actually getting context, and they're actually remembering the things, and when we're correcting them, so that we're not having to start from zero again. So another big win for all the Service Hub customers as well. So let's get to the next one. Have you ever wanted to customize your own agent? Well, now you can at the Breeze Marketplace. You can customize your own agents or build your very own or install them straight from the marketplace. Check it out now. The HubSpot Marketplace was something that came up as well. We've got a marketplace, but we've got a new kind of marketplace. I'm here with Julie.
Hello.
And Danielle and Blair, everybody here, just to talk about the marketplace and I guess what the updates mean with what Karen spoke about at the keynote.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Trav, for asking. The unified marketplace we're really excited about. And you might remember, if you saw it, it was mentioned in Karen's keynote yesterday. This is the moment for HubSpot to really expand our ecosystem, and we now have the platform to do it with the unified marketplace. And what this means is kind of the moment when, like, Amazon went from just selling books to selling any type of product. So now, as HubSpot, we're able to let our third parties and anyone, our third party partners, add to the marketplace in a way that fits into a system that works well with HubSpot. And so what that means for customers is that you get to discover these third-party assets where you need them, when you need them, based on your own business context and unique customer portal. This also means that as the market changes, new technologies are coming out. We know we've heard about MCP servers. We want to make sure that we have a place for customers to be able to find those and learn about them and know how to manage them and use them. And so that is what the unified marketplace does. Additionally, we wanted to make sure it looked good and felt good because user experience is key to HubSpot. So I'm here, with Danielle, who's a designer on the team, and we worked really hard to make a consistent feel. The other really cool thing about this is the look that you see here is going to be bringing through HubSpot because we really want to meet customers exactly where they are. We understand that you might not necessarily need to go to the marketplace if you know exactly what you're looking for. So we're making that more accessible. Search is cool. You're able to have more compatibility, understanding with your plan. Redesign the listing pages to make it easier to understand what it really can do for you and what this app or agent can, what it works with and other, what it works well with. So right now in the unified marketplace, we have apps and agents, and soon we'll be bringing in our other products, which is solutions, partners, and templates, and whatever else the industry might Tell us.
Nice. You want to touch a little bit on the Breeze agents as well, because I know that that's sort of something that we all learnt about yesterday. The other day. This is what we learned the other day.
I know. What is time?
We're not
What is time? What is time? What it doesn't matter. Absolutely, the Breeze agents is really our flagship moment here for the marketplace, because this is the moment where we're having HubSpot customers learn about agents, get to know them, and understand how these agents can really solve their business use cases. We have clear instructions and demonstrations for what this will do for you and how to get it. So the Breeze agents are incredibly important. When you go down to the Breeze area, you'll see in the Breeze area there is the marketplace. That's our same marketplace. Right now, these are all HubSpot built agents, but soon, being in the ecosystem group and as a company wanting to ever expand our ecosystem, we are going to be having there'll be more third-party agents being able to build too. So, for instance, the Shopify store performance agent, which was demoed yesterday, that is actually using a Shopify tool in Agent Studio, so you're able to see how your Shopify store is performing. That's going to tell you what customers are doing abandoned carts, like how to optimize campaigns for more revenue, and it's pretty cool. And that agent can do it for you and then give you reporting of no, exactly, here's how much you got brought in, and here's how much money you left on the table and what to do about it.
Another really cool aspect of the new marketplace is that every person is going to have a different homepage. So we have recommendation sections on the page, and they will be tailored to each person's portal based on things like their industry, their behavior within HubSpot, their recent activity. So we're just trying to highlight the products that are most relevant to them right up front.
How many hours have you spent looking at this screen?
1 million hours. Many. And actually, I'm so proud of what we did because it's awesome to see it live, and I still like it. And that's hard as a designer.
Here's a question. When did you start?
Mid-January.
Wow.
Of this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That quick.
People of Australia, we welcome your feedback. Please. Here's a QR code. We don't know how this works on a camera, but try. Okay.
It should work.
Anyways, give us your feedback. We want to hear what you like, what you don't like, what's terrible, whatever, what your dreams are about anything HubSpot related, or specifically extensibility and how you want to extend and expand your HubSpot.
Or send bottles of wine to you guys. Thank you.
Listen,
I love a red wine, but I'm not. I'll take any color, really. Nice. Thank you. Nice. I'll take any variety, and I love Australia.
Pinot or something like that. It'd be nice.
I had the best time south of Perth.
Yes.
In the wine country.
Yes.
Let me just tell you, I can also talk for 5 minutes about my time in Australia if you'd like. It's fabulous. I'd like to go back. So
nice.
Maybe. Traveled up the East Coast to from Sydney to, I'm going to mess the names up, Cairns.
Yep.
And then flew to Perth, did a little camping road trip for a few weeks. They went to middle of the Uluru.
Uluru, yeah.
And then busted.
You go to Great Barrier Reef when you were out in Cairns, yeah?
It was awesome.
So nice. Yeah, awesome. Thank you again, guys, for everything that you do, and congratulations on the launch.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
What happens if I told you that Operations Hub is dead? That's right. Operations Hub is gone, but that brings in the new Data Hub. So Data Hub is replacing Operations Hub with a slew of new features, including the Data Studio tool. Let's take a look at the product demo. And we're here with Steve at the Data Hub demo area, basically stepping through all of the features that were announced at the keynote with Karen as well. Steve, how are you?
Very well.
Good to meet you.
And you.
Are you able to step us through maybe just from a high level a couple of the features or something that you find really, really cool that you kind of want to talk about?
I'm biased because I own one of the products. But yes, absolutely. Yeah. So Data Hub has really been about fixing the data problems that customers have. There's sort of three main ones that were mentioned in the keynote. We've got the trapped data, the siloed data, and the bad data. So we'll start with bad. That's the it's not an easy problem to solve, but one of the easiest ones. We have a new data quality dashboard that we've just brought down to one of the lower tiers, and we've added some new functionality. So in one place, if I had a mouse, I will quickly show you this, if this is useful. But we've brought together our data quality area.
So this is now on the starter or pro?
I'd have to check.
I
think some of this is being brought down to starter, and then some of the advanced functionality is just at different tiers.
Yeah.
So here we've now got an ability to see together, like duplicates, formatting, enrichment, these sort of things, and you can click through. With the duplication, we've now, for a long time, HubSpot was saying duplicates are on a company is whether they've got the same domain.
Yes.
But a lot of our customers are telling us, no, that isn't what a duplicate is. I can define a duplicate in a different way. So we've now allowed them to come up with some new rules and things like that, so they can set their own rules for what a duplicate is, and then we can now do auto merge, so they don't have to go and manually review 40,000 records or anything like that. It's like fire and forget, and leave that on in the background. We've got a lot of good feedback around that. So that's one of the tools. Another one we've added is Data Studio. It is a product to collect all the siloed data that's in all of your customer systems and allow them to derive insights inside a very spreadsheet-like interface by just adding as simple as adding a column, whereby you connect all these different sources, you derive your insight, and you just store that on your CRM or use that in a workflow or a list or.
And we can kind of use it kind of like we did with data sets a little bit.
Exactly.
Past,
In fact, it's actually built on top of data sets, but now with external sources and some new activations.
Beautiful.
So it's an evolution of that product and a big move towards this sort of central place to look at all your data.
And that
use
stuff,
that in HubSpot.
and that external data in that silo is not getting saved to the record, but essentially the data set's
exactly,
there.
because you don't want to be smashing things into extra records on a property for that one badge that you had at a conference 3 years ago, right? Instead, you can have that in a Google Sheet that is now stored inside this sandbox or this ephemeral store.
I think it was a good example, like if someone was running an event, dietary requirements or anything like that, you kind of then can just pull the data to sort of then extract out that specific information.
And some of those things can change, and so it means we can use it when we need it and then forget about it afterwards.
Nice.
Or if we've got stuff constantly updating, we're always seeing that too, so you might have new data flowing in and now qualifies someone, adds them to the segment using that external data, and then it's sort of automated through a workflow or something like that. So data,
I think that what you sort of mentioned is the sandbox is a really good simplistic example of how that could work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No more smashing stuff onto contact properties.
Uploading 40,000 records.
Exactly.
And then
it's all there.
having to backtrack it.
Exactly that. So that's the next one. And then Data Agent. I don't know if you've spoken to the Smart CRM folks about it, because it's a bit of a cloud between us.
Little bit.
Yeah, it's the ability to send someone, an agent, off into the internet to go and gather stuff. So has this company had a funding round? Again, that was in the keynote. A lot of enrichment type stuff.
Yeah, smart properties and things like that.
Exactly. Smart properties in CRM. We also support that in Data Studio. We've got it in a few different places, but just to get that extra information that you don't have, funding rounds that are recently hired, all the stuff that Karen was talking about.
Yeah, and I think naturally, that you'd have to go ahead and find that thing out yourself. So as long as you can predefine what it is, you can go and find it.
Exactly.
And does it crawl the whole internet, or does it have sort of various sources, or does it just sort of?
It will crawl a number of different sources. You can even direct it. So I want to send it in that direction. It'll go off in that direction.
Awesome.
Some magic under the hood, but the magic of LLMs, right? Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Steve.
No problem at all.
Thank you so much.
To meet you.
And to check out Data Hub, it should be in your portal on the left-hand side, and you can check it out. And if you guys need a demo or you want a trial, just reach out either to us or your CSM as well. So the CRM just got smarter with the new sort of detached smart CRM. So you're asking, what is the smart CRM? Well, Breeze is really going through, and they've integrated it even more into what you do, giving you more insights, and you can use Breeze AI to contextualize the structured data and actually give you some more insights to what's going on. It's getting filtered throughout the whole system, throughout the whole CRM itself, and it's now a standalone product. One other thing I'm going to talk about the smart CRM is the new projects object. So you're able to manage projects right inside HubSpot. And beautifully, you also have Gantt view in that as well. So you can actually start getting visualizations visualizations of specific dates and actually start running some projects right inside HubSpot. I actually never thought I'd ever say that, but you can run projects right inside HubSpot at the moment. So let's check out the demo of the new projects object. We are here at the Smart CRM, and we're here with Brian. Hey Brian, how you going?
Great to meet you.
Good to see you. And I think basically what we kind of wanted to check and see, maybe a handful of things that we can expect just with the new CRM features, and when we pop the hood open on the account, what we can expect to sort of see, and maybe kind of what some of this stuff what it means for the average Joe.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Or the not average Joe as well.
I think the first thing to note is that if you're an existing HubSpot customer, you're already using the Smart CRM. Okay, so this isn't a net new product that you need to purchase if you're already using HubSpot. This is something that we have kind of pulled out functionality from like Sales Pro and Marketing of Enterprise, packaged it together in Smart CRM. So if you're net new and you don't want to send 1 million emails a month or make 1,000 calls, you can have an enterprise grade CRM on its own. So it's a really good entry point into the world of HubSpot and CRM.
Yeah, nice. And this is obviously powered through Breeze as well. Is there a few features that, say, if we just wanted to just get the CRM or we got the existing, what are some of these new little things? Maybe we can just talk about what he's doing.
Yeah, he's in the product updates at the moment, but there's a few new features that I think we want to kind of call out here. First of all is flexible views or flexible ways of looking at your data. Historically, everybody's been able to customize their own views, but you have to look at your data in either table form or Kanban style, like board views if you're looking at deals or tickets. We've now got lots of different ways to visualize your data. So for example, if you're looking at your contacts, you can see that in board view now, so you can see the life cycle stages of your target accounts or your prospects. You can visualize it on a map, right? So if you're hosting an event in San Francisco and you want to check in with some customers who are in the area, you can visualize that on a map. You don't have to kind of interpret the data and kind of identify where these people are located. We can see things in calendar view, and we can also, which I love, is we can actually visualize them in a report. So you don't have to go off and like build a dashboard or build a report in a dashboard to kind of see that kind of pie chart or funnel. You can just look at your pipeline, click into report view, and it'll build a report for you. Really, really handy.
I think those views that you sort of spoke about, so if we pop into here, so we've got at the top here.
Yeah, so these are all just saved views that I've created. This one is a board view, but the really important thing to note here is that all of this is just a different view or a different overlay on top of a table. So you've got all the same functionality that you have in the table. You've got your filters, you can add columns, all that sort of stuff, but you can just click and say, hey, I want to see that in a board view. Okay. Same with reports. This, for example, I live in my deal pipeline. I'm always looking at what's the close date, how much revenue have I got in my pipeline. Again, now I can kind of just very simply build out my table and then click into my report view, and I don't have to master the dashboard tool. I don't have to master building custom reports. It will just do that for me.
It seems like we're just sort of less clicks to get the information we need.
But also interpreting or giving you a different way of looking at your data so that you don't have to interpret it yourself.
One other thing I saw as well was Gantt view in there as well, which is I think maybe a long time coming for some of the some people that I can kind of see, and I've kind of played around with it in our own portal, where we can start to get a bit of an idea of how long the deal has been alive, which gave me a bit more insight in regards to where I should focus a lot of my efforts. But did you want to talk a little bit around that?
Yeah, so you're talking about a new project object in HubSpot, which is great for, say, onboarding, implementation projects, that kind of thing. It groups together all the tasks that are associated with that and visualizes it in a Gantt chart. There we go. So you've got your overall project here lasting 40 days, but you've got your various different other kind of elements within that project that are visualized in that Gantt chart as well. If, for example, I said, this part of the project is extended out a bit to here, it's going to stop me and it's going to say, hey, this project's meant to be finished by that stage. So it's a great way, again, of visualizing the various different steps that you have to get to complete an onboarding or an implementation.
One thing I sort of noticed as well is that Breeze sort of being able to sort of, I guess, summarize and give you better insight in regards to the data that's sort of in there. Can you talk a little bit, I guess, of how that kind of works at a simplistic form?
It's really cool. So there's kind of two ways to do this. And again, this is kind of, I think what this is doing is it's like typically we have to look at the data, we have to think about what kind of question or what kind of prompt we need to ask to kind of get insight from that data. But in this case, it will do it for you. So I can just come in here and view column insights, and it is going to assess this table of data based on the competitors mentioned and give you a bit of insight. So, for example, it's probably going to tell me Salesforce is the most common competitor that we come across there. Live demos, eh? But it will give me insights on that column, for example.
And obviously, if you've got a really big subset of data, this can kind of help, I guess help give a bit more insights in regards to what to look for. And can you, on top of that, sort of type anything in, or is this going to give you sort of a high level sort of insights for that?
I think what you're talking about there is the Breeze Assistant,
yes.
Which is so you can take this. I think what this is doing is it's giving you that first level of insight that you can then kind of say, oh, well, actually, that part of that insight is interesting and I want to dig deeper. And that's where you go into the Breeze Assistant and you start fleshing out that conversation with the Breeze Assistant to get deeper insight. But this is giving you that first kind of entry level to data analysis.
Nice.
The other area that we can do this is on the entire table. So we can come in here and create a smart digest. This is going to take a couple of moments to load. But again, rather than just assessing a single column, this is assessing the whole table based on the filters that you've got, based on the columns that you've added to the table, and it's going to give you a digest here, and it's going to give you some insight.
Nice.
Again, to get you started.
And while that's loading, I think some music to my ears that I heard is that Breeze can now learn from your inputs as well. So often one of the biggest, I wouldn't say the biggest frustrations, but I guess one of the things is that every single conversation I had, I was starting back from zero again. So now, from what I've heard, is that you're able to go ahead and it gets more context and understands like an LLM essentially.
Exactly. It's evolved a lot in the last 12 months. I think it was, a little standardized or something like that, but it's now learning from how you like your data served up. So if I want to know, if I want data in a certain currency, for example, it's going to learn from that and kind of give me that information in that size. If I typically like things bulleted, it's going to learn from that. It's going to, when it gives me that kind of insight, it's going to give it in bullet form. So yeah, it learns from your preferences.
Yeah, I think that's a big win. I think now we can start to sort of grow and evolve the Breeze LLM essentially that will essentially take the data and learn more about what I need and how I do it. This is a really great overview. Is there anything else that sort of stands out from you that you think that sort of people should be aware of?
The other thing I just wanted to call out here is the smart properties themselves. So you can add new columns here. These are AI prompted data points. So for example, here is a column with competitors mentioned. This is based on call transcripts. So any calls that your sales reps are having with prospects and they're asking, hey, what vendors are you using? What vendors are you looking at? It can pull that information from the transcripts and populate these properties. And again, this can be formatted in any way you kind of choose. Likewise, pains and challenges, that's using the same sort of data source of call transcripts. But tech stack, that is using the web. So it's just searching publicly available resources and kind of saying, hey, from the information we can glean from the web, these are the vendors that this company is using.
That's really great from a sales perspective too. Obviously, we'll talk to the Sales Hub in just a moment, but I guess really going through and sort of getting some, if we're handing off from an SDR to an AE or whatever that might look like, is that context is right there. Naturally, I think normally as an AE, you'd have to go through a salesperson and research it. You go on the LinkedIn, you go on the website, you scan everything. But essentially, if we've got some smart properties, we can essentially go through and help that pre-prepare for the call.
It's doing so much work for you. I mean, on the call transcripts, it's saving you actually logging those notes, right? And thinking, like, when you're having a conversation, you should be having that conversation. You shouldn't be thinking about logging notes. So long as you're kind of asking the right questions, it's going to pull the key information for you and like populating that in properties. On the kind of search in the web, think about like anyone having a call with a new prospect or a new customer, they're going to go and research them, like, hey, what's going on, like what funding have they had, like what go for it, what jobs are they hiring for, all that kind of information, and we can pull all that in with that information.
And how does that work with Breeze credits as well?
Yeah, so you can create these smart properties free, like that's there's no cost in doing so, but as you populate the values for your companies, then they're gonna cost credits.
Yeah, cool. Anything external, essentially.
Anything external or your own call transcripts. Yeah. Pulling that information in is populating the values for your companies that's going to cost credits.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, an absolute pleasure.
No worries. Really nice to meet you. Cheers. Thank you. Are you a marketer that wants smarter insights using AI, using HubSpot? Well, we've just brought out a whole bunch of new tools in the marketing suite, which includes Marketing Studio and integrating AI into a lot of the marketing tools. Want to check it out? Let's do a demo. Hey guys, I'm here with Isaac at the marketers area and basically sort of stepping through all the new features that we've got. There's probably 4 or so features that have kind of really come out.
Yeah.
We've got the AI-powered email, segments.
Yep.
I loved lists, so hopefully it's the same. We've got AI emails and personalization.
Marketing Studio as well.
That's right.
And we have AEO. So instead of SEO, which is search engine optimization, it is now AI engine optimization.
Yeah. Did you want to talk, I guess, a little bit about, probably not diving into AEO as such, but just a high level of kind of how this will change specifically?
Yeah, specifically for AEO. Yeah. So for now, we understand that with our customers, when you're optimizing your search engine optimization strategy, now you have to take into the AI overviews that are like showing up when you like Google search and you see like the AI overviews, right? So what the AEO feature in HubSpot does is it gives you recommendations on different types of content based off of like search term results that you should be looking into in order to pop up more as a trusted source within the AI overviews. That'll maximize the traffic coming in from like any of like the search queries that are coming up in like Google or
And whereabouts do you find this? Is this have we got the mouse? There we go.
So you should be able to see it. Here. SEO. Let's see AI search.
I'm sure that will change soon.
Possibly. But yeah, so you'll see for these 2 modules are probably where you want to start first. So for your AI discoverability, you'll see it's broken down into 3 different sections: high AI discoverability, medium, and low here. So what this is basically showing us is that for this particular phrase or whatever is being selected and typed into Google, what are the most common pros and cons mentioned in Big Lytics reviews? We're having high discoverability in the AI overview section, which means we're probably getting good traffic for this particular like topic that's being shown up. We have medium for these different types that are showing up, and low. So for me, as a business owner, if I want to increase my AEO performance, I probably need to work on something within the medium or the low discoverability sections. And then that's based off of like the content I already have within my HubSpot portal. But if I want to see net new opportunities, we have AEO opportunities here. So this is recommending content ideas for like new topics that I probably have not touched in my HubSpot portal just yet. So no new landing pages or blog posts that the AI can pull from. So it's giving me different topics of like what I can build content on to increase my AI like searchability like within for like my target customers.
Yeah.
So those are 2 modules that I would say like our customers can get started with. But we can also go into the share of voice section here on the very bottom. And this is showing me an industry measure breakdown of like how well I perform in AI search or AEO in general. So right now this portal is connected to HubSpot. So we're seeing for HubSpot, we have a 7% share of voice compared to like some of our other competitors. So if I was a customer, I can take a look at this graph and be like, okay, if it's too small, I definitely need to take those like content suggestions into play and then make some improvements there.
Really great.
Yep, and then I can see the share of voice score as well as the different strengths that I already have or may not have. So,
Great.
yeah.
And then did you want to, that's really great, and I think it's pretty much step by step on how to do it so people can go in their portal straight away. Sort of stepping through, I think, the Marketing Studio.
Yeah.
So let me try that again. The Marketing Studio, we've played with this in our portal a little bit, which is really great. I think it's fundamentally a bit of a change to how campaigns work, but also strategically planning how to execute it overall.
Yeah. So Marketing Studio is where we want a lot of our customers to now go to run, build, launch, execute, analyze campaigns. And so what we do here is, let's go and try and go to a sample campaign right now.
And basically what you'll see here is now you have the landing page you already built
inbound.
It's targeted to all visitors, but now you have another variant of that landing.
So when you first create a Marketing Studio campaign, you'll have a campaign brief and it'll ask you a series of questions in order for Breeze to get started on building out a framework for you. So it'll ask you, what goal do you want to achieve? What is the target audience that you're looking to reach? As well as campaign details. Right now, you're only seeing 3 sentences for the prompting, but we highly encourage you to get super specific here, as if you're talking to an actual human being and providing them with instructions, because the more context you provide, the better output that you'll have. And of course, you can also add supporting images, supporting campaign documents, and once you fill all that out, what Breeze will do in Marketing Studio is create a different marketing touch points or assets that apply to the campaign brief that you have created. And then from here, you can also edit the different assets that are already here, but if you want to add a net new one, you can click on plus, and let's say I want to have a new marketing email. I can add that here.
Yeah, you could have done it manually.
And then I can also add content. I can generate new content if I want, create new content, or select any existing content I may already have. And then from the campaign view, I want to say, okay, let's say after this landing page, I want people to go to the marketing email. Then that's where I can do that connector. And then we have sticky notes available for here, just as a collaborative tool if you want to add any additional information. But this is essentially a new whiteboard.
It's a whiteboard, yeah.
Yeah, that allows you to create campaigns much easier, see analytics. There's various project management tools that allow you to manage the entire campaign process a little better internally. And then from here, once you have everything published, everything is launched, you can go to Analyze and take a look at the data for individual campaigns or all the campaigns that are available. So you'll see stuff like ROI, spend versus budget, revenue overview, influence contacts. All of this is available on a high-level view for all of your campaigns or on an individual campaign basis as well. Yeah. So
I think taking the whiteboard sessions that we do, and we basically plan them out all on the whiteboard and then transfer it all back into HubSpot, kind of negates some of that extra step as well, which is good.
Yeah.
We'll touch on quickly the email AI, the AI email area.
Sure. So I'm sure someone may have touched on dynamic personalization within emails already, but this is basically a new feature where you can add a dynamic text token, and instead of property-based like smart content, you can now do like longer form personalized text for your emails, which means that you can send 5,000 emails to 5,000 individuals, and instead of just having personalization done through like your first name, you can have like dynamic content for like a good chunk of your email. So to show you what that looks like, if we edit this, for this particular email, we want to recommend different inbound sessions based off of their job title, their industry, and their areas of interest. And I'm asking Breeze, choose and recommend 3 from this list here. And so depending on the individual receiving this email, their job title, their industry, and their areas of interest, Breeze will automatically recommend 3 inbound sessions that are catered towards like what I prompted it to do. So I feel like that's a really cool feature about like AI and email.
Smart content and personalization, like fragmented right down to the individual, not to the segment.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's individual personalization at this scale on a mass level. Segments is where a lot of people begin their HubSpot journey. This is a view that most of our customers are already familiar with the legacy list feature. But now we have new tabs with new functionalities that our customers will be able to get access to now. So within Intro, if you want to get started with creating a new segment, you can do that with our AI segment builder here. You can create a segment of just contacts or different properties, or a net new thing we can do now is like web visitors. So instead of CRM contacts, we now have web visitors that we can create segments out of. We proactively can create segment suggestions based off of these different goals listed here. So if you want to increase MQLs and SQLs, we can click on Generate Suggestions. It may take a couple of minutes for Breeze to get through this, but what it's doing is, okay, it's identifying the goal. It's going to provide you a reason for the suggestion, as well as a description of the segment that it's creating right now. And so you can generate that once it's done, like creating all three different options. So here we go. So we have growth manufacturing decision makers as active leads. It's giving you all the information that I just described. It's showing you the actual filters that you would actually have to implement when creating a segment to begin with. And there are three different options for you to take into consideration in order to increase MQLs or XQLs. So I can generate that segment right away, or I can get custom suggestions. If I'm not happy with any of the selections here, I can do something similar. So enter a marketing goal, describe who you want to reach and why, and even select the different channels that I want these new contacts to be involved in. So email, SMS, ads, or content personalization. And then another cool thing I want to show you is probably the Explore tab. This is an enterprise feature right now, but what it's doing is showing you not only engagement tiers, but clusters of essentially properties combined with audience segmentation so that you can do more optimization based off of the data that Breeze has already read and proactively giving you suggestions on.
That's cool.
Yeah. So then you'll see like opportunity context and pharmaceuticals. I may not have seen this as an opportunity before, but Breeze is automatically doing that for me already by taking a look at the data in my HubSpot portal. And from here, I can create a segment and then create a new marketing email, a new campaign, and tap into like the opportunities within that particular segment that I may not have known about before.
I've always said that I think lists are the most powerful tool inside HubSpot. I've always said that.
Yeah.
This kind of takes it almost to another new level. Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean, that's great. I mean, I think we were meant to be 5 minutes, but that went a lot longer. But there's a lot to dig through.
You can edit it down.
Yeah, for sure. But thank you so much, Isaac.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. On to the next one. The prospecting agent inside Sales Hub just got a new lick of paint, being able to use all the metrics inside your CRM to serve you up people that are ready to chat with you. Want to check it out? Let's do a demo. For all of the sales lovers out there, and this is me included, what's come and improved this year with the Sales Hub specifically, I think prospecting agent's got a lick of paint. I personally was a bit dubious about the prospecting agent, but this one is, I think, actually really, really good. And it's improved on what it was a few months ago as well. For those that don't know, and you probably should know as well, what it can do is it can go through and it can start to draft specific contexts into email sequences for you. Now, it can go through, it can basically start drafting these emails for you contextually. Not just a sequence, so in the past when we've got sequences, we basically write the static text and then we go through, and we can use dynamic or static as well as we go through. But in this instance, what it's doing is it's taking the context of the contact and how it knows, getting external context as well, and contextually writing these emails for you. Now, there's two things you can do. You can basically set to review to send, or you can automatically send. Please set to review to send. After you've got the confidence of how it's working, then you can maybe set automatically, and you can do the inputs to this as well based on a certain segment or list if they meet certain criteria or filling out a form. So we can see here, if we just come into the prospecting agent, just a bit on how it kind of works. We can see here that this is the email that's basically getting written automatically by Breeze. We can see how it's researched. So down the right-hand side there, it's looking at all of the context inside the CRM and how it's pulling that context into the actual email itself. So it's not just saying, hey, so-and-so, hey you, how you going, and using like first name, last name, personalization tokens. It's actually going through and it's researching all of the necessary information inside the CRM. You can see it's drafted that email as well, which is really good. It's needing review at the very top. You can go edit that if you want as well, or you can just basically go to send. And I think this is basically one of the cool things that I've got with the prospecting agent is that now it's doing a better job of pulling context out of the CRM, and I think that's a really big win for all the Sales Hub users. So if you haven't used it, I suggest maybe putting a couple of hours aside to go through and get a feel for it. But this is just released and it's better than it was before. So if you have tried it and you were like, it's not for me, I think now's a really good opportunity for you to try it. Commerce Hub was in need of a bit of a spit and polish, but guess what? This year they delivered. So we've got CPQ for quoting. Now, if you really, really struggled with quoting with HubSpot, this one's for you, being able to fully customize the quoting ability and also opening up the APIs for the invoicing side of things. Let's go check it out and see what's new. So we're here at the Commerce Hub demo area, which basically what we can see here is the demoing of the CPQ. We'll turn it that way so we can see the platform. So here we can see basically a new type of quoting specifically inside the area. Now this is under the new Commerce Hub Pro area. So you still get the old quotes, which is really, really good. This area here is like a paid subscription area where you can basically get this, I guess this customized ability to go through and to update the quote areas. In here, we've got a thing called CPQ, which basically what we can do in here is we can start to completely customize how we do the quotes and how that comes through. With what we saw in the keynote speech is that what we can do is go through and use AI to really drive the description at the top. But each of these line items that you can kind of see through here is we can actually start to completely configure how they go through, whether it's a one-time deal, whether it's reoccurring, whether it's a subscription, whether there's a free period, and then we can go through and then have it paid as well. So multi-line items can have multi-pricing, multi-discounts, and a whole bunch of different sort of slew of services. And it's basically the bugbear where people have had with the quote tool that it's inflexible with how it kind of works through. We can see on the page there we've got terms, the payments, and also the acceptance, which comes through with the e-signature side of things as well. They're bringing in some of the functionality, as you can kind of see with the drag and drop as well, being able to use the drag and drop to build the functionality into this quoting area. But this is kind of fundamentally, personally for me, one of the biggest bugbears I've had within the sales area is specifically I haven't been able to customize. Now you can customize the quote through the CMS and getting a developer or a partner, but it's been really static in how it kind of works through. So this is a new feature that we can kind of see in here, the CPQ. I believe it is a paid feature, so going through and having the ability to do so, we can then go and have a trial period to go sign up. I think this is one thing that I've been really excited about because I use this tool day to day. HubSpot acquired a company called Caseflow not too long ago, so this is some of that feature and functionality really coming through. A lot of AI tools are getting used. If we kind of have a look through on the right-hand side there, we can see that we can start to utilize the quote assistant. Now, this is one thing with our interview that we did with Jack Cooper Smith, or Jack Commerce Smith, which he calls himself. We can load that into the knowledge base. The customer can ask questions specifically to this. And you can kind of see some of the questions in there as well, is that they can ask questions that pertain specifically to the quote, but they can also ask questions like discounts or how much the terms or how long or whatever it works. And these are going to be common questions that get asked directly by you. We can load it into the agent, into the knowledge base, and they can get those answers straight away, which I think is a really another cool feature. So this is available for trial now in your portal. You can sign up for the portal now, but this is the CPQ, probably one of my favorites that just started. So we're here at INBOUND25 and we've just seen the CPQ tool launch here for everybody to use within the Commerce Hub. Mostly it's kind of based around the whole sales Sales Hub and working through. So CPQ, can you tell us a little bit about, I guess, the tool in a couple of words?
Indeed, we're launching CPQ as a part of the Commerce Hub. I think the idea we want to make sure customers feel really good and confident about is that really ultimately Commerce Hub just simply becomes an extension of the Sales Hub. So, big picture, what we want our customers to really understand is that CPQ effectively becomes this sort of first domino to fall. But because we have all of this infrastructure around payments and invoices and billing capabilities, CPQ fits really, really well in that Commerce Hub. So at the end of the day, now we can quote, we can price our products, we can get that quote out to our customers can execute the agreement, and we can get the payment on that actual quote. So Commerce Hub is going to deliver a ton of value for our downstream workflows.
And I might actually just start. Adam, did you just want to
introduce myself?
Yeah, introduce.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got to have my manners. Sorry, Adam, are you able to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do at Cashflow?
Yes, absolutely. So Adam Wainwright, and it's awesome to meet you and the team. I'm coming on board via a Cashflow acquisition. Happened about 10 months or so ago, and at the time when we were at Cashflow, what we had really figured out and what we found well and what our customers loved was there's CPQ, configure price quote, and then there's sort of like this quote to cash, right? What in my quote, what data can I get downstream so that my CFO can get delivered all that necessary data to run the business? And what we found was the best CPQs delivered on two really core value propositions. One, speed for the seller. Can't ask a seller to go jump through a ton of hoops. We got to make it easy. Now, if we've got a lot of controls and requirements, we just got to make the process of getting to the quote easy. That was one thing we did really, really well, one thing that HubSpot loved about us. And then two was, how do I get that data that the quote then encodes to those downstream systems? It could be an external system, or it could be an internal system, like, for example, in the Commerce Hub native to HubSpot. And that was ultimately what HubSpot had said, that's what we would like you guys to come and build for our customers here at HubSpot, a place where we can actually deliver on that unified value prop.
Yeah, beautiful.
Specific to
I think we're all going to be pretty happy that this is dropping, because it's been a friction point for a lot of us, and I think it's just going to open up so much more freedom for a lot of people just to be able to do business a little bit more simplistic. I will also ask to introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Jack Coopersmith. I missed you from last year. For those watching at home, we did about I felt like a two-hour interview, I think, last year, and we had a bunch of beers, but the audio sort of cracked out, so I have to apologize.
Not long enough, Trav. Not long enough of an interview, but great to be here, of course.
For those watching for the first time, are you able to sort of talk about what you do at HubSpot and how long you've been there for as well?
I've been at HubSpot for about 9 years. My name is Jack Coopersmith, and I've been on the commerce team for about 4 years, so it's been a wild ride. I was here right before we launched HubSpot Payments. It's been awesome to have you folks on the team. Also, congrats on the launch. We haven't said that yet, but that launched like 30 minutes ago. So launched. We made it happen, so congrats there. I guess what I guess what I'm most stoked about is we just listened to customer feedback, and that's what drove absolutely all of this. Our customers for so long were like, look, I'm managing my deals within HubSpot. You have a quoting tool that's like good, but I just need more. I need it to be faster. I need it to be easier to use. And I've been hearing this personally for so long. And so we made the big bet. We brought that whole team over. We could have just thrown our orange color on their product and called it a day, but that's not how we build products. We build things from the ground up. It's a crafted, not a cobbled platform.
We're not the blue cloud.
Not the blue cloud.
The blue cloud.
Orange through and through, even though we're in the Moscone here, which I love.
And also maroon.
Yeah, and of course also maroon. But
all the boxes.
Our customers were telling us they want more reliable e-signature. They want an easier quoting experience for the buyer and the seller. And so that's what I'm most stoked about, is we've listened to our customers. We've made a big bets because of it. And I think we're in like chapter 2 of a pretty major book right here. So I still think we're actually just getting started. And it's been awesome to have you guys on the team. It feels like a lot longer than 10 months. I don't know about you, but it feels a lot longer than 10 months.
It feels like when we announced it in Australia, it was about 2 years. It feels 2 years ago. But yeah, congratulations. It's so good. I guess we've seen a lot of the AI transformation with the smart CRM and obviously Breeze throughout the whole, I guess, ecosystem. Are you able to talk a little bit about how this might touch into, I guess, this side of the platform?
Yeah, so it certainly goes without saying. I think AI is probably the most compelling opportunity that HubSpot has in general in front of it. And we certainly have taken that very serious in terms of where we want to innovate in the space, the general category that is CPQ. So there are three major forays where AI will be introduced in CPQ. The first and most obvious space is, can my sellers just interface with quote building in a way where it's easy, it's chat-based, it's just basic communication. Hey, I want a quote, I want it to do these things, and I need this many quantities and that much discount, and maybe generate for me a cover letter based on all of my emails and conversations that I've had historically. So we just want to reduce all the lift associated with what I like to call the sort of the cold start problem. Sellers hate going and firing up a brand new quote every single time because they kind of have to start from scratch, right? Hallelujah. So AI is going to really help offload that friction there.
I got to say, like, when I am creating quotes personally as well, the dread of having to, like, all right, all I do essentially 3 or 4 dot points, ChatGPT, copy paste, bang, straight into it. So it's really removing that friction again. ChatGPT has done a funny thing. The behavior now is, let me just go run it past ChatGPT, see what those results are, and does that get me to some place sooner than if I had gone and started it myself? So that very concept will be completely nested inside of the quote builder. Another component is on the buyer side. So our second sort of major foray into the AI space is to actually deliver an agent that will help the buyer sort of scratch all these technical or evaluation-oriented itches right at the time of signature. So oftentimes our buyer may not necessarily have been involved in the evaluation process. So wouldn't it be awesome if an agent could potentially run interference when that buyer who's at the end of that cycle has a couple of questions? For enterprise cycles, it might be SLAs or warranties or details about your general terms and conditions, any number of things. Well, we can train the model to pick up the stuff that typically is going to be the first level questions. Second, deeper level stuff, maybe that's going to go to an actual rep. So the agent can then run interference and say, you know what, I can't give you that 100% discount, but I'm certainly happy to go ping the rep who owns this relationship, get them on the horn, and then maybe you guys can have a conversation. Because I think what we find is that some of these decisions are getting made after hours. That's right. People are sitting on the couch. That's People are like working through it. So the time for it to actually turn around is going to be quite significant, where now we can answer those questions straight away. And to be honest with you, they're the same questions all the time.
That's the key. When you have the predictability in how you run your cycles, and you know what those 10 most common questions are, renewal rates, right? Are there limitations to how I buy? That's all stuff that we can use in a fairly deterministic way, and we can leverage a model to do that work. And the idea, of course, is we want it to go the next step where we're also helping compel the close. So that this agent's going to get better, it's going to get smarter, and it's really all in service of helping that last mile shrink so that we can effectively accelerate the revenue process for our sellers.
Yeah, nice. This isn't on the script. This is a little thing, feature. I'd like to request a feature, a sales room.
I love it.
Can I have a sales room? I think a sales room would just be so beautiful, and we wouldn't have to use a third party at the same time. It just would make a lot more sense.
Yes.
And when we're talking about having an agent answer those questions and contextualize specific answers based on activity, engagement, but also context with the actual, CPQ model, the quotes, the invoicing, but also historic. Please, from all of us.
So I'm sure Jack probably has a big POV on this as well. But what I will say is that what we've built with the quoting tool technology today is we've built it with the buyer in mind. And the buyer in mind means there's a buyer experience. The buyer experience is edging very close to an actual deal room. So there's a lot of internal discussion as to whether or not we go full bore deal room. Do we maybe want to resign it more to just being just a quote, but with a digital layer that gives it a little bit extra, more buyer. So, but because the model is actually pulling all the activity signal, all the email engagement, transcripts from conversations, we've got all this unstructured data that we can then just simply borrow to build a really great deal room experience.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I almost went over to the other side of it. But at the end of the day, it's feedback we get a lot, and we are very much whiteboarding out how much of the buyer room experience do we want to own.
And I think now, given some of the flexibility with APIs, and I guess partners and developers could somewhat build what we're kind of hoping to do if you really kind of wanted to. trying to think what limitations might be, but there could be a V1. Maybe I'm just sort of putting this as the check mark to say maybe we should just kind of build it and then kick the ball around, share ideas, and then run with the ball.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
The biggest feedback that we're getting right now when we were at Partner Day yesterday is the partners are really excited for the opportunity to go and build on top of this concrete foundation that we're pouring right now.
Yeah.
So there's all this value that we want to give, we want to put in the hands of our partners so that they can come in and they can really hit those nuanced use cases that maybe we're not explicitly going and designing for because they represent some very narrow part of the market. So it's really important to us that our partners have their hands inside of this toolkit as early as possible, because you guys are going to come back and tell us, hey, it'd be really cool if this thing did this. We can go make some subtle adjustments, and next thing you know, we've opened up a whole new use case or a whole new vertical.
I think that's how the partner and the app ecosystems kind of really flourished as well. Like catching up with Harry Bevan from, what was it, Weaving? Invoice Stack and whatnot. Like being able to build a system, seeing what's possible, and then sort of develop and work together to be able to sort of create something that's, I'd say, organically grown, rather than sort of bought and then jammed into the ecosystem. It's kind of built by the people kind of thing, and you're like, cool, we see a lot of stuff there, let's build what we've built there.
The HubSpot is a really, we're very grateful to have an opportunity to have been invited to come and be a part of HubSpot. And the advantage our customers have is, of course, you're living on the platform. So, you know, you talk to PMs and engineers, and we always ask, hey, can we go this is something that Jack and I deal with. Hey, our customers need this. Can we go do this? And of course, the engineers look at us and say, well, you can do anything. The reality is we really want to make sure we properly identify just exactly what that customer ask is, but in no other environment that I've sold in over my last 20 years have I been in a position where you've actually got an entire platform powering the end result. So we're light years ahead of where a lot of legacy CPQ vendors typically find themselves, simply based on the fact that we live on top of the HubSpot ecosystem. So there's a lot of value here.
I'll also add, good enough seems to never be good enough in this space for so many different businesses. So often a turnkey solution is like, it's almost there, but we just need a little bit more. And because of how we build, which is just open system through and through, we have a very flourishing ecosystem on the solution partner and app partner side of things. So my hope and expectation is that 2026, our partners are really, really, really busy in this world. And honestly, we may get to a point where we just decide not to build certain things because our partners can build it, and they can build it in a more nimble way, in a more flexible way. And so I think we're going to start to have those conversations this year when it's like, wait, should we just leave this completely to our partners? And I think we're going to actually leave more than we expect right now. And I'll bet $10 on that, that we're going to be surprised how much we push to our partner ecosystem.
Wouldn't be surprised in 6 months I'm going to show you a sales room and be like,
I love it. I love nothing more. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. We want our partners to be busy here, app partners and solutions partners for sure. So APIs we're going to be building, through and through. Everything seems to be pretty API first for our team right now, which is also great.
If you could automate anything with AI in your whole life, what would it be?
Professionally, finding the best customers to speak to. Personally, travel planning.
Yes. I did that recently.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I love my Whoop. Eat right. Yeah. I love that I can check it every morning, and it kind of gives me an idea of maybe how I'm going to structure my day if I want to outperform yesterday. I love that same concept for sales conversations. So to the extent that I'm able to just run through my day of meetings, and then I can kind of go back and I can kind of analyze how today was relative to historical days, that feels like an opportunity.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't be giving that.
I 100% agree with you as well. Like getting context of the whole engine, understanding where things are at, and I mean HubSpot's kind of inching there slowly.
That's right.
Taking a lot of that unstructured data and kind of into that one place to be able to, I guess, contextually grow and understand how I sell personally, but also, I guess, kind of what I might be missing, what the signals are that are kind of coming through in HubSpot, opens, visits, not opens, no visits, anything of those matters, or whether it be signals external to what it is, acquisitions, changing of jobs, all that sort of jazz. I'll tell you one really good platform with a group in Sydney called Relevance AI, who are building MCPs that are kind of like, he used to be ex-HubSpot, to be able to build all of these multi-agents to be able to research and like I'll send it to you. It's beautiful work.
These are the new market entrants that I'm thinking that we all got to pay a lot of attention to, because that space is moving really, really fast. And I think what's really compelling is revenue process tends to be fairly rigid. CFO needs this data so I can execute that step. But when you're swimming in unstructured data, and it can come back and it can perhaps give you a sense of like how your cohorts are performing and how that, the health of your customer for a renewal, and then you can tie that back to the top of your lead funnel. That's where things start to get really compelling. Now you're marrying that unstructured data on top of your structured HubSpot ecosystem, and that's what I'm most excited about, because now all of a sudden the word insight takes on a whole new third level of meaning, where you can actually figure out really where you can go do those things like serve up what my best customer is and where. Market segmentation is going to be smarter than it ever has been before. So, and then you layer in that closed data, and now you've got this really rich picture.
You're giving me so many ideas.
Right?
So many ideas. Because the ability to do it's there. It's just a little bit, I think in 5 years' time, it'll be so much easier for the average Joe to be able to just do what we say we're doing. But at the moment, we've got to build it.
Something tells me next year we'll have a similar, let's do this again next year, and we'll see if that's a 5-year timeline or if it's
12 months.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks so much. Nice to meet you.
Travis, pleasure.
And good to see you again.
You're the man.
Let's do it again, but in the afternoon with a bunch of beers here, I think.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Look forward to it.
Right, we are here at INBOUND25, and we are lucky to meet up one of our favorite partners on top of HubSpot is the Aircall. We're here with Louis and also Pat. Pat left us to go to New York. We're very lucky to catch up with him again here in San Francisco.
Good to see you guys. I was waiting for this reunion. I was very much looking forward to this. So good to see you guys again.
Nice. So are you able to tell us a little bit about what you guys do, I guess, in the ecosystem and how you help your customers?
Yeah, sure. So Aircall is a cloud communications platform, primarily voice and SMS. And what we do and have always done more than any other solution is integrate deeply into HubSpot. So if you're using HubSpot, sales or service use case, you've got a bit of a calling as a primary channel for your business. That's where we kind of slot in and start adding value.
Nice. We've been Aircall partners for a long time. We use it ourselves. We love it. We onboard it with a lot of our customers. I think what we're seeing a lot that's coming out, I guess, in this release that we've got here with HubSpot is a lot of the AI tools, which has been 3 years of getting AI bugged into our heads, I guess. I love the stuff that Aircall's doing from an AI perspective. Are you able to break down, I guess, how you guys are really leveraging this as well to make it a better experience for the customers of Aircall?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really the ultimate objective is we want to be able to meet the customer where their challenges are. And a lot of what we're hearing right now is, with the new world of folks that are working remotely or just teams that aren't necessarily using the tools that are going to be available to them from a training and an upskilling perspective, we wanted to build a product that is really going to, solve for that. And so the most recent add-on that we launched is our AI Assist Pro, and it's taking AI more so to the next level is how we're really seeing it, right? You can talk about transcriptions, you can talk about call summaries and sentiment analysis. AI is moving so quickly that that's the norm right now.
It's kind of a year or 2 years ago.
It's a year or 2 years ago, exactly.
It's almost the standard of what it needs to be at.
Exactly. And so really what we're thinking about right now and what we've released with AI Assist Pro is how can we ensure we're helping the agent in live time? Because at the end of the day, it's a reflection on the actual customer and the customer experience that they'll have. And it's great to be able to look back at calls and look back at communications and solve for it after the fact. But we want to try to meet the challenge in live time, and so that's really where we've got now live transcription. So you can just speak and you can listen, and all of that transcript is going to take place live. And on top of that, you're going to be given both prompts to help with objection handling. So if there's difficult questions or there's some rebuttals of some kind that is coming your way, and you don't feel necessarily equipped to be able to respond to that, you're going to get a list of suggestions, right? And on top of that, you're going to get certain sales playbooks, for instance, that you can upload there, and you can say, maybe I'm using the PACT or the Gantt playbook, right? And so it's going to provide certain questions and advice on what components of your playbook that you're actually missing, and then guide you with the types of questions that you might need to ask to be able to get the information right there on the spot to avoid any mistakes and to ensure really consistency amongst all of the customer exchanges you have.
And I honestly think maybe even for seasoned salespeople too, and this is coming from me, sometimes you do get stuck, and having that sort of, I always try to at least have something in front of me, my notes or pre-prepare. This kind of, I think, would allow me to sort of go into it more naturally and be able to sort of be more present without having to sort of like refer back to it. It's sort of in front of you, being able to sort of, I guess, coach you as you go through without having someone silently on another line sort of speak in your ear sort of thing.
Yeah, I think the worst thing is if you finish a phone call and you're like, oh man, I forgot to ask that one question, which you do get being like a veteran sales rep. You might forget every now and then to ask.
You go on a tangent and forget about what you're talking about.
Do it all the time, man. Seriously, just like get on a roll and forget something. And I think what's cool as well about the playbook feature is you can get customized, like it's completely customizable, right? So we've worked on a lot of clients together. Like, let's say you're a certain type of company in either manufacturing space or tech or whatever it may be. You can create a custom playbook based on your industry and your business and the way that you guys approach speaking to your customers, and then roll that out to all your reps. Yeah. So you can get quite gritty with it and sort of choose your pathway.
I think one of the features I think that's come out that's been quite noticeable and I get really excited about was the AI voice agent. Essentially, a lot of our clients get phone calls getting asked the same questions over and over and over and over again. Are you able to probably talk on, I guess, kind of how we're utilizing AI and I guess also Aircall just to sort of help serve people better at midnight or at 1 o'clock when maybe potentially customer service agents aren't available at that time?
Yeah, for sure. I think what I like about Aircall's AI voice agent was the way we positioned it to the market. I think everyone's sort of promising a lot of stuff with AI agents right now, and it's a lot of noise. We just started out by saying, never miss a call again. Yeah. So the idea is, populate it with your knowledge base, tell it who you are as a company, what it needs to know, the sort of like questions it might need to listen into, and just have that as your person that can take your calls when you're not available to answer them. So whether it's a missed call, you're out of the office, or whether it's like you've got a really busy phone tree, your agents aren't available, have the AI take the calls, answer the basic questions, and then transfer it to the human being. So I think for companies who are not very far ahead with AI in some ways, it's a really great place to start for your calling.
And easy to set up. So easy to set up.
Super easy to set up. You just go in there, populate with your knowledge base, tell it what you want to do, and then go from there.
I think a really good example was one of our customers is a body corporate or a strata account where they get a lot of phone calls specifically after hours, and they get given the guides to be able to say call these people. But I think within the space of 20 minutes or 15 minutes, being able to input all of like the electrician, the plumber, any of those contact details into that knowledge base, that AI agent on the phone, you're able to ask that question and very humanely answer the question that just sounds normal. I don't think we want to trick anybody to pretend like it is a human, but by addressing to say, hey, this is an AI chat agent to help you, but it just was more, the language it used just seemed like it wasn't very robotic, but at the same time got directly and contextually answered the question based on what was asked.
Yeah, I think the voices are pretty good. Like, it feels human-ish, but yeah, we always say don't pretend it's a human. Don't lie. I think, but if you're a customer and you're gonna not speak to a human, say, cool, humans aren't here, but here's our AI. Ask it some questions, and then we'll send it through to the human when they're next available, which I think is a better way to approach AI calling in general. Yeah. So,
I had this garbage disposal company on the Gold Coast that I was calling, and they used a software platform, but they basically pretended that they were human. And I knew it was, and I just started asking bogus questions, and I went down this road and I just got nowhere, and I got into this loop, and I was like, I just hung up. I was like, nah, not for me. I don't know, it was a bad experience.
And one thing I want to even bring this back to what we're experiencing here at Inbound, right, is Yamini talking about this new type of partnership between human and AI, and I think that's really how we're looking at it as well, is we don't want to trick or we don't want to replace humans with AI. It's really supposed to help improve the overall human experience. And so not only is the AI going to take in those calls and never miss a call again, but it will also log that content inside of HubSpot. You can ask intake questions to take in information and populate that into HubSpot fields, and you can trigger workflows. So we're automating that post-call process as well during after hours, right? And it allows you just as a human to feel more comfortable to know who called in, what did they talk about, how might I be able to use that information to then provide the best possible customer experience after the fact. And a small detail as well that I love about our AI agent is you can choose how strict you want it to be when requesting to transfer transferred to a human. So you can say, if someone asks to speak to a human, it happens instantly, or you go down a rabbit hole of questions like you experienced, which isn't a great experience, right? Everyone has their own preferences, but at least we're offering that level of customization, and it just reduces as much friction and frustrations as possible.
I think one thing I wanted to sort of touch on, and I think this is why we kind of went into partnership with Aircall, was the simplicity to sort of jump on the platform and get started. I know it's kind of really overwhelming. This is more so me just telling you guys, but some feedback. But sort of, I guess it's quite daunting when you think about like phone systems specifically and how complex it can be. I think the ability to be able to sort of jump on the platform and be up, I would say within an hour or two, is really quite simplistic and I think honest as well. Depending on the size of the team, if you've got a team of 5 or something like that, depending if we're porting over numbers or spitting up new ones, you could get IVRs, you get the system set up and connected and integrated with HubSpot kind of all within an hour, I assume. And I think a system that's really focused on its UX, on its mobile, on its desktop, but also the ability for the deep integration, transcription, sentiment, all that sort of stuff. I think it's whenever we show it to a client, it's almost like a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah, look, I remember pitching you Aircall a few years ago and trying to sell you on the concept of it, and it was, back then the pitch was, it's simple, it's easy to use, it's sort of like a modern business phone, and yeah, the idea was you can get it set up fast and get value quickly. And that's all still true. Like, we've kept that core to what we do. It's built with that sort of sales rep or that service rep, what their day-to-day is going to look like. If they work inside of HubSpot, how can we make it easy for them to do that and make their phone calls? That being said, like HubSpot, we're building more and more under the hood. There's more and more going into that back-end infrastructure. I
was going to say the Analytics Plus is like, if you really need to know about call centers, it's there.
Yeah, no, 100%. So we've got so much built into the platform. So if you're one of those sort of sales managers or support managers and you need that sort of in-depth analysis, we have that available, but we've also always kept that front-of-mind UI experience for the sales rep. So that's kind of like, yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah. I like tagging. I get a good idea. Sometimes it can be a bit annoying if you're like on a roll, you're like, oh, I've got to try and find it and I've got like 30 tags.
Tagging's funny now. With like the AI summaries and stuff, though, it takes a lot of your notes for you, but tagging's still really important. Yeah. Tagging is very... You force it. You'd be surprised how often tagging is actually the answer to a problem. It's like, we want to do X with HubSpot and Aircall, and we're like, just tag the call. It will solve most of what you're trying to do. So, yeah.
Awesome. Last question I'd like to have for you guys. If you could automate anything in your life, both professionally and personally, what would it be?
I would like AI to do my hair for me in the morning. I spend a bit of time hair drying and waxing, and I kind of hate it, but it's a necessary evil.
You and me both.
If AI could do that for me, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, this is the longest my hair has ever been, so that's not my issue. I personally can't stand the folding and ironing of clothes. I don't mind the washing, but the folding and ironing is something I'd love to get automated.
I think there is a robot that can do the folding now. I saw it on TikTok.
I'll take the $10,000 if you've got it for sure. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for catching up, guys, and thanks for all the work that you guys do. It's awesome.
Thank you, Trav. Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers. I'm here with Sergey and Eric from Maximise, a field ops tool that it deeply integrates with HubSpot and gives teams the ability to do a plethora of things when it comes to using region-based mapping and putting that back into HubSpot. I think I kind of wanted to throw to you guys, if you could maybe just explain who you are and I guess at core, what Maximise is and how it can help HubSpot customers.
So we truly believe we're the number one map and field sales enablement tool for HubSpot. So we're highly integrated. So setting up Maximise with HubSpot just takes 5 minutes, and you have all your data in HubSpot ready to use. We're a powerful map that marketers can use to have the spatial representation, spatial view on their data to run marketing campaigns, geofence, or to find local vendors for clusters of clients or properties. But the biggest impact is in our field ops product, which is the sales and service enablement tool. We have a number of tools ranging from map routing, visit scripting that when implemented well together can potentially triple, and I mean it, triple the productivity and output of your field service and field sales teams. We have a lot of case studies on our website that showcases how exactly to put together all the tools, and we're really inspired by the success of our clients who really achieve remarkable boost in productivity.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I think if we can sort of try to contextualize it, we've got some clients that are obviously doing field service calls, and if we look at a very generalized use case of, say, a plumbing company, can you give me a bit of a use case, maybe Eric, about how a plumbing company, also being able to sort of utilize HubSpot to be able to sort of try and service in the field those specific customers, and how it could benefit, I guess, those guys when maybe they've got 5 to 6, maybe 10 jobs in that day, how the Mapsly platform could potentially benefit those guys using the platform.
So I'll give you two examples, a simple one and a more sophisticated one.
The sophisticated one's going to be good fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun, I promise. So the simplest example, very straightforward, and you have a lot of jobs spread out throughout the city and several plumbers. So what you can do, you can have Mapsly create daily routes for each of your team member to service these jobs while spending the least amount of time on the road. And the bigger the team and the longer the planning period, like you can plan for a week, 200 jobs, 5 team members. Mapsly will ingest this data and create daily plans for each of the team member. And the impact, the bigger the scale of your operations, the bigger the impact per worker. So routing is the most straightforward way to get value from Mapsly, and just this optimized routing gives you the ROI to get value from Mapsly to cover all the costs. It's a no-brainer. If
so we're not bouncing all around the city, we're using an efficient route.
Yeah, it not only uses efficient route, it can route for the team at once, not just one day for one person. It takes all the jobs for the entire week and all your team members. And for the jobs, it can account for open hours when they can be executed, custom working schedule for the team, the skills required and equipment required for the job. They match all together and create mathematically perfect routes with real-time traffic and historic traffic taken into account.
Wow.
So it's a really straightforward and really powerful. A more sophisticated scenario that I promised. So let's imagine your team is already in the field. Now a new job comes in. We can configure Mapsly for you that Mapsly entirely automatically finds 5 service members closest to this job by driving time, not just by direct distance, by real driving time based on traffic. Mapsly can automatically send out an SMS with a link to these plumbers who's free to take this job. Just click on the link. The first one who clicks on the link gets assigned the job. The rest receive SMS. Thank you, the job has been assigned.
So it's internal resourcing management too.
Yeah. So you can utilize our implementation resources and the low-code development environment to free up even more time for your plumbers to dedicate this time to the job itself or to sales. So we're not only routing, we're giving you the tools to automate the heck out of everything you can just to help your team become more efficient, to make them reach their full potential.
Yeah, I think that's honestly amazing how it can kind of encapsulate all the data inside HubSpot and also do resource planning both internally but also communication externally too for the customer.
Yeah, and by the way, important thing to mention, whatever data you generate in Mapsly are saved automatically back to HubSpot without any extra effort from anyone.
Yeah. And I think one other side of the coin as well is like we're looking at sort of operations. When we look at sort of analytics and data, we can also utilize Mapsly from a data sense and get visualizations in regards to demographics and areas as well. Can you talk a little bit on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 2 tools that you can use to convert your data into knowledge and make informed decisions. First, you can draw territories and add roll-up metric based on your data. For example, you can see what's selling better in what region of the country or in the city. And the second tool would be our self-service analytical platform that comes out of the box with Mapsly that combines your CRM data with the routing data and field performance data that Mapsly generates. And it overlaps this data and provides you with out-of-the-box dashboards to see who is doing better, which plumbers spend least amount of time on the job, on the road, to reveal your champions and spread best practices across your entire team, boosting the productivity of your service and sales team even further.
Yeah, it's honestly. It's good for sales, it's good for marketing, and it's good for operations too. I think it's a really all-in-one encompassing platform that really works well.
I also wanted to mention something that really make us stand out is our service model. So when an interested client or lead comes in and expresses interest in Mapsly, we interview them and configure custom-tailored solution without any commitment from the lead, and they get to test drive it for a month with their HubSpot data fully operational in the field before making a decision or making a commitment.
Yes.
So I don't know any other company who does that. We do programming at pre-sale to make the client happy because we believe in the adopt and buy approach, and everybody buys. So we keep doing it.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. The level of service that you guys give, especially for us at Neighbourhood, has just been second to none, and the help we get over and above as well. I guess it's never easy when you go complex as well, so getting support from the team has really helped out too. I think looking globally, obviously you've got a global reach in APAC, in US and in Europe as well. Personally, what do you sort of see the industries that are working really quite well with Mapsly? Obviously, it can account for a lot of different ones, but are there specific industries that work really well with Mapsly that you're kind of servicing a lot of?
There are different industries. It can be construction industry, medical, because Mapsly honestly works across different use cases. As you can see, Mapsly integrates with different objects from HubSpot, companies, contacts, tickets, so it can be used by both Service Hub users or like Sales Hub users, so it's not
Mapsly is more of a horizontal solution, so automotive, healthcare, construction, so whatever business has an outside sales team or service team, can be retail, distribution, they all can benefit from Mapsly.
Yeah.
And the industry that I mentioned would be like the biggest, they're most represented among our clients.
Yeah, for sure. I think from what we've heard about HubSpot and obviously how it's advancing in its AI, is there a specific feature that you guys are most excited about? Do you guys use HubSpot yourself?
Yeah, we're a HubSpot client, definitely. And we are very excited to hear how HubSpot has advanced over the last years and the new features they're announced. This is amazing, and how well thought out their integration of LLMs and AI into the features. That's exactly how we envisioned servicing the clients. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, awesome. We ask a question, if you could automate anything in your life, both professionally and personally, what would it be?
As a pet project, I personally created an AI accountant that manages all our finances. You can ask him to pay, upload, invoice, so it was a fun project. So
you've actually done this?
Yeah. I actually did it with all the tools for the LLM. Yeah, it was very fun to play with.
Nice. What about yourself?
Honestly, as a solution engineer, I often use AI to kind of help me automate some of the replies, some of the support-related questions and implementations. So a lot of times AI, helps with some scripting, some kind of automations like that. So yeah. Nothing crazy, it's just like everyone else. You use GBD, use all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, nice. Well, guys, thanks so much for catching up. We've been big fans at Neighbourhood for such a long time, and stoked to catch up with you guys. And we hope to be working a lot closer with you guys over the coming years.
Thanks, Trav, for the great questions.
Thank you so much. Thanks, gents.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for INBOUND25. Hopefully we've provided you some insights in regards to some of the enhancements that have come through. Remember, over 200 enhancements have come just at this HubSpot Inbound conference. So make sure you check out the product releases, but also go to hubspot.com/spotlight to get a really good understanding about each of these as well. Now, a big part that we're going to really focus on is loop marketing. So make sure you sign up to our October Hug, which basically steps through how to implement and how to make, enable your business to sort of transition from that whole old school inbound methodology to the new loop marketing, which is really focusing on that AI side of things. I hope I haven't said AI too much, just like everybody else, but we're here to help out in any way, shape or form. Make sure you leave comments, reach out in the chat, or reach out to us at Neighbourhood. We are at nbh.co. Well, that's a wrap from me in San Francisco. I'm going to go have a sleep, maybe even a beer, and I will see you guys in October to learn more about loop marketing. Catch you later, guys. Bye.